Here's something the research proved that most people never learned. Satisfaction doesn't spread. You'd think if you were doing well in one area of life, it would lift the others. It doesn't. Satisfaction is domain specific. You can be deeply fulfilled in your work and hollow in your relationships, thriving in your health and empty in your sense of achievement. Each area of your life carries its own separate score, and they don't automatically talk to each other. Let me show you what I mean with a man named David, 53 when he came to see me. Financially successful, professionally respected, married, 2 grown children. By every external measure, a satisfied life. But here's what the single overall number would have hidden. David had gone into his father's construction business at 22 because that's simply what happened in his family. He never consciously chose it. In 3 decades, across hundreds of major decisions, he never once asked himself whether he wanted it. His achievement domain looked full. His authentic self domain was completely dark. And when he finally got quiet, the truth came in 10 days. He had always wanted to teach children, the age group, as he put it, that he was when he stopped being allowed to be curious. This is the third dimension. Life satisfaction. And it's the most diagnostic of the 5. Because it doesn't give you one number, it gives you a pattern, and the pattern is a map. Let me define it precisely. Life satisfaction measures your felt satisfaction across the specific domains of your life, separately. Relationships, health, achievement, and more in the full assessment. The daily tracking watches 3: health satisfaction, relationship quality, and achievement satisfaction. Now, here's why the separation matters so much. The overall score tells you how you're doing. The pattern tells you why. And the pattern reveals something the overall number hides, precisely which areas of your life are aligned with your authentic self and which are running on borrowed values or external pressure. That's the key to this whole dimension. This is where borrowed values show up in the data. Let me explain what I mean by borrowed values, because it's the heart of it. Somewhere along the way, most of us absorbed a definition of a life well lived, from family, from culture, from the people around us, before we were old enough to author our own. David absorbed his at the dinner table. The family business was simply what a good son did. And we build parts of our lives on that borrowed definition. The career that made everyone proud. The version of success we never actually chose. Those areas can look fine from the outside and score low on the inside because they were never really yours. And here's the finding that makes this dimension so powerful. The domains with the lowest scores are, reliably, the domains where you most consistently suppressed your own authentic direction, where you handed the pen to someone else. The low score isn't random. It's pointing at exactly the place you left yourself. There's a physical signature to this too. Long-term suppression shows up in the health domain. Physical symptoms without a clear medical explanation. Chronic fatigue not explained by activity level. A body carrying more than it should have to carry. The score sees what you've normalized. Let me say more about that word, normalized, because it's the trap of this whole dimension. When a domain of your life has been dark for long enough, you stop experiencing it as a problem. You experience it as reality. The relationship that's been distant for a decade doesn't feel like a low score. It just feels like your marriage. The work that drains you doesn't feel like misalignment. It just feels like Monday. The chronic tension in your body doesn't feel like suppression. It just feels like getting older. You've lived inside the dark room so long that you forgot the light was ever an option. That's exactly why you need the actual measurement, because your own sense of the room has gone numb to it. The number hasn't. The number will show you a domain sitting at a 3 that you would have sworn was a 7 because you'd stopped comparing it to anything but itself. That gap between the score you'd guess and the score that's actually there is often the most important information the whole assessment gives you. It's the measure of how much you've normalized. So how do you know when you have it? How do you read your own map? You have insight the moment you see the pattern instead of the average. When you stop asking, am I satisfied with my life, and start seeing which specific rooms of your life are lit and which are dark, that contrast is the most useful information you'll get. The dark rooms aren't failures, they're directions. You know this dimension is moving when a low domain starts to rise. And here's the part that surprises people, often without your outer circumstances changing at all. The research is clear on this. Targeted, authentic alignment produces measurable improvement in a domain, independent of objective changes in your situation. You don't necessarily need a new job or a new relationship. Sometimes you need to bring your actual self back into the one you have, and the score moves. You have it fully when the pattern evens out, when the lit rooms and the dark rooms start to look more alike. Because you've stopped abandoning yourself in specific corners of your life. Here's what I want you to hear about the low domains, because people get discouraged by them. A low score in a domain is not bad news. It's the most precise guidance the assessment gives you. It's the map saying, here, this is where the borrowed values are. This is where to bring yourself back first. You don't have to fix everything. You have to find the darkest room and turn toward it. For David, the dark room was a whole career. He didn't burn his life down. He started bringing his real self, the one who wanted to teach, back into his days. And the map began to even out. You can only do that if you can see the pattern, which means you need the actual breakdown, not a vague sense that some things are good and some aren't, but the specific map of which is which. That's what this dimension gives you, not a grade, a map. And the map points straight at where you left yourself, which is the same place you get to return to first. Take the free assessment at consciousnesstrack.app/quiz. 5 minutes, no email required, completely free. It maps exactly where you are across all 5 dimensions of your inner life and shows you the pattern in this one. I'm Candace. I'll see you in the next one.